Hello everyone, my name is Alicia Louise Lillington. I am a 33-year-old mum of a 15-month-old. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma in March 2025 and I'm going through a journey at the moment of chemo, of resilience, of life, trying to figure out what's next. I'm right in the middle of everything and just sharing my story in the hope that it might help someone, or if I put it out there, something in the universe will magically happen and it'll be good for someone. So, updates for you. I guess I'm coming to you from the car because I've got Bub in the back asleep. It's hard to find time to record when you are a busy mum, and so sometimes I get a little bit of time alone and then I record videos, but mostly I'm always got my little daughter around and don't like her to be on camera. So yeah, this is our moment to record. I don't know why I'm feeling so rusty at filming today. Maybe it's because I'm in a different location and the sun is on my chin and that's annoying me. So what day are we now? Tomorrow is my next chemo. So that means we're on cycle 3, day 14. So that means the first 2 cycles, 28 days each, 56 days, plus 14. So it's day 70 of my chemo journey. What a ride. The last time I updated you was just after my 5th round of chemo. Tomorrow will be my 6th round of chemo. And within that couple of weeks, I already updated you on everything that happened that week. And then in the following weeks, it was tough. I had some really low points again. I know I always say that. I'm like, oh, it was rough and it was tough and there were low points. But I think one of the toughest things for me has been trying to stay strong and trying to be positive through this journey and trying to, plan the outcome, even though I'm trying to learn that I can't plan any outcomes. But also nothing really seems to be going to plan. Over the last couple of weeks, what can I update you on? I've been trying to do a couple of activities with my daughter, and I did put out on my stories as well, asking everyone what some good activities around Canberra are to do, and thank you everyone who replied. I was hoping for some sort of niche ones that might not have been publicized, but I think most of the ones that came back and most of the ones that I've done are the tried and true examples. So we did go to the zoo, and it was my sister's birthday. My sister actually works at the zoo herself, so we got like a private tour with her, and she has knowledge of the names of all the animals and many different facts that she can teach my daughter. So happy birthday, sis. I know my sis watches my videos and is my #1 supporter, always leaving me a love heart, so thank you. And also, if you're watching this and you want to leave me a little love heart or comment, maybe it'll help the algorithm. Because maybe we could have maybe I could be a YouTuber one day, who knows, out of all this. And yeah, it helps the algorithm if you like, subscribe, comment. No, I don't know, it's just funny. So let me tell you more about the last couple of weeks. What else was a challenge? I think I was feeling unwell, and it's hard to keep going when you feel unwell. It's also like people just say, like nurses and different health practitioners tell you to rest during this time, and well-meaning family members as well should say just use this time to rest. But I'm not the type of person that usually rests, or even if I do rest, if I have half an hour here or there, then that's I'm always doing something called finding the next plan. So but I was like, okay, I'll try and do what these people say and I'll just rest and do nothing. And it wasn't good for me. It wasn't it doesn't suit me. I think even in those rest times though, there's things I can do like journal or read a book, but it's got to be the right content. That's something I've been finding hard lately, is there's a lot of scary stuff in the news, obviously with world situation going on. And it can be quite daunting, and it's like you've got to find, and like you want to be realistic. I don't want to be like living under a rock, living in La La Land. There are scary things happening in the world, but you know, to maintain that positivity, you've got to try and stay away a bit, I think, from the news cycle and probably from social media as well. I probably spend too much time on social media. Yeah, what else made it low? I think it was those things. And then I had really bad neuropathy, so pains in the tips of my fingers. And I had pain in this arm, my right arm. Sorry, I'm so pale. I shouldn't apologize for it. Maybe it's, you know, pale is the new tan, maybe. I had pain here in my arm, and it was like shooting up, and this is like my dominant hand, my right hand, and just felt like stabbing. It felt like there was still a needle in it. And I texted my cancer care nurse, and she said that she'd like me to come in for a review. So I ended up in hospital with a different hematologist, and she felt my arm, and then she suspected there might be a clot, and she's like, I'm going to just give you this these scripts for some blood thinners, and I'm going to like give you a referral and try and get in as soon as you can for an ultrasound, because you might have a blood clot in your arm. So, and then I was like, what are the you know, is there anything that I should avoid or anything I should do? And she said, not really. She said, when you're on blood thinners, just avoid having your period, which is like, how are you meant to do that as a, you know, menstruating person? It's not, yeah. So anyway, apparently periods are really bad when you're on blood thinners. So there you go, guys, just another thing to know. But I went to get the scan done of my arm pretty promptly, and so the hematologist that I saw and checked that there was a clot, she was lovely. She was absolutely lovely. She listened to me. She was articulate. She was well educated. She was just beautiful. I know I've had my share of challenging folk to deal with, but I want to acknowledge when I've had really good people, and she was great. And then when I got the scan at Capital Imaging Group at Deakin, equally, the lady who did the scan was just so nice, and she told me straight away, like, there's no clot there, just to reassure me. She'd recently moved to Canberra from Wagga, and we had just a great chat. She's moved here because her son is neurodiverse and she wants to have more opportunities for him, and I was sort of talking about the things we do as parents for our children, and she was just so kind, and she knew that I was going through a rough time, and yeah, she just made me feel really comfortable, and she gave me reassurance and made me feel lovely. But then, because there was no clot, it's like, well, what's going on? And they think it could be neuropathy, like a long-term side effect of one of the drugs of the ABVD. I think it's the vinblastine that causes neuropathy, yeah, like pins and needles in the tips of your fingers. I call it like I've grabbed 2 hot coffees. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Throughout the last couple of weeks, yeah, I felt like, what's my identity? What am I doing? I worked a few weeks before. I worked for like, say, 3 weeks, 10 hours a week. But last week, you know, ending up in hospital with this suspected blood clot and everything, I didn't work the Thursday, and then I usually work a Friday morning. And I logged in, talked to a colleague, and he just said, you know, should you be online? That's like what we always say, right? When colleagues are unwell and they're online, just like, should you be online? And I actually thought, no, I shouldn't be online. It's too much for me now. And I've worked with colleagues in the past who, like, you know, they try to be a saint, and they're like, I'm working even though I'm in the hospital, or, you know, my family member's going through this or that, and I'm just going to keep working away. But I don't think that's a good example of a leader. I think a leader knows when to take a break, and I think everything was telling me, the universe, my body, my colleagues, literally, my family members were just, I just felt like, yeah, I need to take a break. So I did. And yeah, and then that afternoon, over the last couple of weeks, one of the really nice things that one of the charities has done for me, they're called Mummy's Wish, and they will grant you like a wish. If you're a mum going through cancer, shout out to them. They've been really supportive. They paid a cleaner to come and clean my house, like do a deep clean. Like I keep things pretty clean, but when you're a patient, and so if you're supporting someone with cancer or someone who's unwell, I definitely think if you can go over to their place or if you can get a professional to come over and clean, that is something that, you know, it just helps like so much. So that's something I'd recommend. Or like, you know, maybe you have a new mum that's your friend and maybe you can go over and clean for them. As a new mum, that was like, you know, the best thing that someone could do for me. And just like, you know, someone that doesn't ask like, oh, what do I do next? It's just like, they just start vacuuming. They just see the stuff in the sink and they just wash it. And they just see, oh, look, Bub has put a lot of fingerprints on that glass. I'm just going to Windex it. Because I feel overwhelmed, like trying to tell people how to support me. I know that like, it's hard to know, but like, that, I guess that's an answer is like, just, yeah, that's something that people could do. 1 second.